Welcome everybody to the podcast. This is BAM Collectibles Geeked Out. Right now you have your host here, Cedric, with my co-host.
Santana.
There we go. So right now this is our first podcast that official one. This is our first official one. We had a test one. This is our first official one. So good news on that one. So we're gonna be bringing y'all guys a lot of good content, as much as we can. News on everything nerd that you can think of. Santana has the comic book knowledge today. Right now, I'm gonna be doing like some little TCG stuff. We also have a giveaway. So for our first podcast, we're gonna be giving away some Pokemon cards. We're gonna show that to you later. All good stuff. So we'll get this thing started. All right. First in news, I got Magic the Gathering. So right now, I've been big in Magic the Gathering for a few years now.
Nerd.
Yep. That's what this is about. It's nerd stuff, man. This is Magic the Gathering Nerd 101. Um, and for a while they've been doing collabs, like a lot of collabs.
Yeah, they had some really cool ones.
Yeah.
Transformers.
Yep.
Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Call of Duty. What was another one that they dropped? The Peach Momoko ones.
Yep.
The X-Men ones.
Yep. Those are secret layers. Yeah. So Magic's been, Wizard of the Coast has been doing hot stuff with their stuff.
Lord of the Rings was hot because of the One Ring card.
Yep. Post Malone and his stuff. But this one, the newest set, is actually a Final Fantasy collab.
Oh,
so
Jordan, Jordan already.
Oh yeah. Oh, you already know.
Jordan probably has that stuff already ordered.
Yep. So on June the 13th of this year, it's going to be a Final Fantasy collab where they're going to have commander decks. They're going to have booster packs. They're going to have all kind of pre-cons that you can think of. Some of the most hyped up stuff so far. So they got 4 commander decks for sure. So one of them's going to be Terra. That's going to be a Cloud one. A Tidus. And I always butcher this name. Shatola? I think that's what it is. It's with a Y, but I always butcher her name. But those are one of those like hot ones. But yeah, they'll be having those 4. They're gonna be having plenty of I think they're gonna have standard precons as well. But they definitely have Cloud, Sephiroth, all the classic Final Fantasy characters, all the way from the 1 on up. Some of the cards that I'm kind of hyped up about right now is Sash's Chocobo, which is from Final Fantasy 13. The only good character that was in Final Fantasy 13, in my opinion. And Jordan probably would say the same thing. Jordan hates Final Fantasy 13, by the way.
The one he hates the most is what, 7? Or is it 8?
It might be 3.
FYI,
if you don't know, Jordan is a friend of ours from a previous...
Well, he works at the Iron Line. He's the warehouse / store manager at the Iron Line.
There you go.
So, local people who go into Iron Line will probably know who Jordan is.
Yeah. So he's big into that. The one that I feel like is gonna be kind of hyped up, only just because it's like a funny thing, is the Cactar. So it's kind of like this running thing in every Final Fantasy game. There's always a Cactar, and they actually made a card called Jumbo Cactar, and the move is 10,000 needles is what it's called, and basically the move is whenever this creature attacks, it gets plus 9,999, and plus 0 until the end of the turn, which is kind of just ridiculously stupid. Anybody who plays Magic, obviously there's still ways to counter it, but that's still a good card. But yeah,
that card's gonna be worth.
Probably not too much, unless they. I'm pretty sure.
It a rare card in the set? Have they released?
They haven't released any major rare stuff. There's a few full art stuff, but knowing them, they're gonna have something big in there.
I know he probably wouldn't have had time, but this would have been a good one to have Jordan on as a guest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That dude works too much though.
Yeah. And but yeah, so that's what we have for Magic the Gathering news. Next we have for news is Santana has some news about IDW for us.
Oh, okay. So it popped up on the Facebook feed. IDW was running a really good sale. They did sell out of a lot of them, but they had a Jack Kirby one, but their artist editions right now are 50% off select artist editions.
Which is, if you any fans of what Todd McFarlane, who else they have in there?
Um, so there was Jim Lee. They had Todd McFarlane, Bill Sienkiewicz, who is absolutely my favorite one. But the artist edition basically is the inks and the pencils and stuff like that. So this one right here, this is a soft cover one. So this normally retails for $40, but it was $20. So this one has Moon Knight, New Mutants in it. So it just has a lot of the artwork. So the artwork, the way it's laid out, is the way they would be in the prior to going to print. So it's got like the little word captions right there, the balloons, but you could see that it has that's on the artist board, not just like regular paper. So a lot of the times what people don't realize is when they're putting together, they have cutouts of the title. So this isn't something that he drew. Somebody else did the lettering, and then it was on another piece of paper, and then it was put down on there. But yeah, it's got the interior inks. You could see the corrections on there for the artwork. So this one's pretty cool, but it's got New Mutants, Elektra. So these ones are just the paperback ones that are $40 each, normal price. This one's who is this, Romita? Yep, this is Romita Senior.
Oh. I see some Gil Kane over there too.
Yeah, so these ones are really, really cool. So it's just like a mock-up one. Like this one, you could see this one on the Gil Kane one with the Amazing Spider-Man 101 first appearance of Morbius. You can see the little cutout where they put the monster called Morbius. So the artwork was done, then the letterer, the person that does all the lettering, did that. They cut it out, put it on there. They do the same thing with the titles, but usually they have, let me see if I can find one. They'll have the mock-up of the cover to the issue. So there's the first interior page. There's these. I don't know if you want to...
Oh, yeah. Right behind me, we got the huge hardbacks.
So these ones are a little bit more... That's the Jim Lee one.
They'll see better in that one.
This thing is...
Huge.
Huge. So this one's $150 normally. This was $75.
Yep.
This one, this is the big boy. This is the Todd McFarlane Artist Edition. So you can see that the paperback one is small compared to it, the soft cover, and even this bigger Artist Edition is still small compared to it. Still available. The Jim Lee one's still available, so you can get them for $75 a piece off of the IDW website. They do have other books from time to time. I did get a Herb Trimpe. This was I want to say it was like $150 book. So it was a hardcover, but it was more along the size of the softcover one. It was in a slipcase, and it had a collected run of Herb Trimpe Incredible Hulk. It had a black and white interior cover, but it was all in color for the interior. The cool thing about this one was it was hand signed by Herb Trimpe. So some of these artist editions do come signed, depending on what the variation for the artist edition is.
Now maybe you should pop them open now.
Yeah, I don't know if these ones are signed or not. Mr. Sienkiewicz here did an artist edition. They did an artist edition with him. There was 3 different tiers. So you could get the regular one that was $150. Just had all the normal stuff that the book came with. There was another tier for it. I want to say there was 3 tiers. There might have been more. But one of the tiers came signed. And one of the other tiers actually came with an original Bill Sienkiewicz sketch, which obviously none of them are the same. I think there was 24 different sketches that could come with it. Aftermarket value on that book with the original Sienkiewicz sketch is, I want to say, $2,000 to $3,000, and I think original was like $400 or $500 to buy it directly from IDW. But I didn't find out about those ones until later. The only one that I managed to track down that somebody still had a sealed one is out of Europe for $2,000, and I'm like, but still an original Bill Sienkiewicz piece of art, and all of the artwork for that IDW one was all New Mutants.
Yeah. See, for any kind of original art, that's cheap.
I don't know, man. Let's
pop it open and see if it's
signed.
All right, we'll check and see if it's signed.
I'm gonna do the big boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the big boy.
So what's in there?
Todd McFarlane Incredible Hulk. Dang, I want this as a poster.
Well, I mean, technically, that's why the books. I mean, the books for why it's so big anyway. Just have it like set up. And how
I
much
don't
you
think
say you
this
pay
is-
for this?
This was $75.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
It's a $150 book. The top pages are a little stuck right there. So you could see the index for the.
The whole thing.
Yeah, it tells you what issues: Spider-Man number 1, number 2, number 3. It has artwork from issue 298, 299, 299. Yeah, I don't know if this. I don't think these ones are signed. They usually tell you
Right.
on the actual website if they're
Signed or not.
signed.
Or at least having the possibility. Hey, I mean, even then, you still can get it signed, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be, I mean, it'd be a heavy book to tote around at a con, but you can find them.
So this one has full scans of the art boards that they did the art on. So this is all his original. Who was the inker on it? Bob McLeod did the ink. So Todd McFarlane did the pencil. So these are Bob McLeod's inks on Todd McFarlane's pencil. So these books are very interesting. I'm an artist myself, so for me this is like a reference book. But like this one, obviously it's not signed, but it has this. The original scan has his signature and his little spider logo on here. So this was probably sold at some point, which is why it's signed. Because if you early McFarlane signatures on books, he usually did the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
On there, but yeah, this is.
Yep. A lot of times you'd be like, look for the little spider in the corner.
Yeah, because a lot of people will be like, "Hey, you guys think this is a legit auto?"
Yeah.
And then people will see the little spider and they're like, "Yeah." Yeah. So this is dang, this is pretty cool. I wish I could just
hang them all up,
cut all of these pages out,
and make it.
I would need 2 though, because I would have to cut the pages out and then get 2, and then because it's on both sides. So yeah, there's no signature in this one. So this is a good example of what I was talking about. The original scan shows whiteout right here. So something went wrong. Either McFarlane corrected his. More than likely, it's for the ink. So probably if this one was inked by Bob McLeod, which I'm not sure which issue this is, but. Okay, issue 303. So the inker must have messed up on the ink and then just did the little whiteout to correct it. Because after this step, the next thing they do is
just print it out.
Yeah,
anyway.
They go and copy them and send them off to the printer.
Yeah.
But,
so you hear that, folks? Even as a regular artist who gets published, you still have to use whiteout sometimes.
Hey. Watch a video with Bill Sienkiewicz, and this guy will tell you all these little weird things that this man will go to. He'll go to like Walgreens or a drugstore and buy random things that he just uses. He said that he's used pantyhose to smear the inks and stuff like that. You'll see videos. People will get white paint on a toothbrush and then spray it on there for a splatter effect. Man, yeah, I'm gonna dive into this later.
Yeah. So that's what we have. IDW having a big sale. So if you want any of these artist books, hardcovers, soft covers, you better check them out now.
Yeah, I got the Marvel ones. They did have EC ones. So if you're into horror, go check out the thing, because those horror EC books it's the black and white one. I'm like, man, I should probably go and get some of those, because those EC books had very, very great artwork back in the day.
Yep. So next, I have. So what was it? I think it was this past week. I think on the 13th, Sony had their February 2005 State of Play. So they announced a bunch of like new video games and stuff. On there, that they have some pretty good heavy hitters. One in particular I liked, it was the Metal Gear Solid remake. So they're making a remake of Metal Gear, so you don't have all those.
What is it, only coming out on PlayStation or?
Yeah, it's probably only coming out PS5. Yeah, but it looks clean.
I was just at Walmart and I was looking at the video games for the Switch, and they had I think it was like $20 something, maybe 30, but it had like Metal Gear Solid. So it had the first 3 Metal Gears for PlayStation. I'm like, yeah.
See, instead of doing that, now they're doing remakes of it. So that, and I mean, it looks clean. So I'm excited for that one. One that you might be excited, or at least your daughters, is they're making a Sonic racing game.
Oh yeah, If you guys don't know, my daughter's a Sonic fanatic. I'm gonna do a little interview with her later to discuss. Well, not tonight, but at some point, an interview with her so she could talk to you guys about Sonic fandom.
Yep. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog game, and it from what it looked like, it was more like some form of like open world type thing too. So it was like a mixture. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm just racing. It was like more elements to it. The third one that was announced was I'm gonna butcher this name, Ghost of Yote. So basically, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. Which I've never played before.
Yeah.
But you've always talked about it. Jordan's talked about it. Yeah. I think even David had talked about it. Like,
oh yeah, like that game is like mint. So they're making, this is basically the second installment of this game, and obviously everything about it looks just as good as the first one. I assume it's gonna be even better. Now there was a few games that was supposed to have rumored to have been announced but didn't. One of them was God of War. There's rumors about it being like set in Egypt. So obviously the first installment was Greek gods. Then the new reboots.
That could be big because of Egyptian mythology and the vast number of gods and the powers and the.
Oh yeah, so everybody's excited about that. It's only rumored though, so people are looking up for that one. Another one, I say it's a little bit more past the rumor state, but they're supposed to be making a Wolverine Marvel game. So kind of like how they did the Spider-Man games, but Wolverine. I assume it's going to be way more intense.
You know what I kind of want to do? We're talking about video games.
Yeah.
Is I have the Nintendo, the Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to get some of those old Nintendo games and then play them and then do reviews on some of those old ones.
Totally.
Some of those old Marvel video games for Nintendo were hard. I remember playing the X-Men video game for Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I could not beat a single level. And you could just pick the character and each character had their specific level.
Yeah.
I never beat a single level with any character. Granted, I only had it for 3 days because I rented it from Blockbuster.
Yeah.
You could tell how old I
am. Yeah. No, I rented it from Redbox. Some Marvel games and stuff back. That wasn't even back then. It was like 360 type stuff. But
that's still.
Yeah. But I mean, I grew up with Super Nintendo was basically the oldest system that I was like, oh yeah, this is like a system we played all the way on up. But currently I own most systems. I'm trying to think of the systems I don't have. I even have like the Panasonic 3DO and
that's probably worth a little bit of money. The Atari Jaguar was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it had some kind of weird controller with the big old keypad on it. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, but the Ataris and PlayStations and stuff like that. So.
And here's something interesting though, and I think I've told you about it. I never understood how my son and my nephews and stuff like that, they whoop me on all these games like Xbox, PlayStation controllers have all these buttons and they're just going crazy, mashing up the buttons, and I'm like getting murked on like Call of Duty and these other games. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, let's bust out the Nintendo. I give them a simple side-scrolling game with 2 buttons, and they can't make it past the first level. And I'm like, how is it you guys can master these games with 360 peripheral open-world views with 16 buttons, 12 buttons, 14 buttons, I don't know how many buttons are on there. All these different functions. And you guys can master these games really quick, but a side-scrolling game with 2 buttons that's just run and shoot, jump.
Maybe the simplicity is just too much.
It's too simple for their minds. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we got for at least video games and stuff right now. There's more to come, I know, from Nintendo and from Xbox. There's a whole bunch of corporate type stuff running with Microsoft right now.
I need a new Xbox though.
Yep.
I can't play Marvel Rivals.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you can't do it.
No, I only have an Xbox One.
Yeah.
But you need what, the Xbox S?
Yeah.
X, or which?
Series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I went on there because I have the Game Pass, and I'm like, ooh, Marvel Rivals. Let me delete some
And it's
stuff I'm
free
not
too.
playing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so I can free up the memory. That's the other thing that bothers me about it. I'm like, um, there was a picture that was going around in one of the Facebook groups, and they're like, oh, wait till he finds out because they made a meme out of it, and the guy's like, oh, I'm so excited. He's holding up a hard disk game that's still shrink wrapped and a brand new PlayStation. He was like, yeah, I just got this for Christmas. And what he didn't realize that people had noticed on the picture was he got the digital version of the PlayStation, so he can't play the hard
So you
disk.
can't. Oh yeah, that's funny.
I'm like, no, I'd rather own it physically than just have it on there,
Yeah.
especially because those games take up so much space.
Even then, like I mean, so I have the disc version of the PS5 because that's what I thought. But regardless of whether you buy the disc or download it, you still download the same amount of stuff,
Yeah,
data. So I mean, the only thing that it feels good for me is just having that
I
physical.
like having
That's
the
it. It's
physical
just having
copy
that physical copy, no
of
matter
the game.
what.
Because
And
Leah bought me the Xbox One, and it was a Halo version,
yeah,
right? So it's the
actually,
Halo
that's
one,
yep. That's why actually why I
and
grabbed it.
so it comes with the case for that Halo that comes with it.
Yeah.
But there's no physical copy of the
Nope.
game because it was still a digital download. I'm like, why do I get the case if there's no physical copy? The cool thing about it was, you know, those little 3D metal puzzles that you can form things.
Yeah, it had one of those in there.
Yeah, so it has one. I can't remember what it was. I never put it together. It's still in the case, and I'm like, do I sell it? Do I build it? Like,
Right. Yeah.
because I'm not a huge Halo fan. My son was, but Halo. The reason I'm not a Halo fan is because my younger cousin, he's an adult now. He's like in his 20s. But when I first got married, and we started going over to her cousin's house to visit, he was like, "Oh, we should play Halo." I'm like, "All right." I only played it once with some friends. They brought over their Xbox, and we're playing it. And he set it up so that I'd respawn in the same spot because we were
Ah.
doing like open, like a free for all.
Yeah.
So he kills me, I respawn, and then I keep respawning in the same spot, and he's just camping. Every
Yeah.
time I respawn, bam, respawn, bam. I'm like, bro, I was like, what's the fun in this? And he was like, it's fun for me. And I'm like,
Nah,
uh,
yeah, no. That was actually like the era whenever they tried to like fix that as an issue, but no matter what, in all these shooters, like it's almost unavoidable. Especially smaller maps, like in Call of Duty. Just thinking about it now, just like drives me nuts.
I still like them smaller maps though.
Yeah.
My favorite one still is Nuketown.
Yeah,
Um,
they bring it back every once in a while on every single new Call
yeah,
of Duty.
but it's not. It's I don't like playing free for all on that because the map is too small with the cluster of people. I'd rather play teams because you actually have a chance of doing some stuff. So people give you cover fire. But
Right.
I like Halo now though. After I got this one because I played the campaign. I'm not a campaign guy. I just like getting into the open world and going against the bots or other people because I just want melee.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's what we got for video game news. What I got now, so I actually found a post on Facebook. See, I'll pop that up. And it was literally a post by, was it Kane Enjoy is what it said. But it literally announced saying the big four new gen manga, right? And I actually ordered some of these for the shop back in the day. So I kind of like knew the hype of them. And I'm gonna butcher these names, but I'm gonna kind of announce them. So there's Icha the Witch, Exorcist Kayoshi, and this one I ordered for the shop back then was Gacha Kuta, something like that. I'm bad at this.
Science
Like,
Team Gatchaman.
yeah, Gacha.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's not that one. We had the comic book for that one.
Yep. And then there's Kagura Bachi. Kagura Bachi. I might have got that one.
See, if Kayla hadn't taken off to the mall with her boyfriend and
He would
the
have
girls,
pronounced them right.
because they're Kayla's into the manga and the anime.
Yep.
I'm into it a lot, but I'm into the stuff that I grew up with in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah. Well, and one of the reasons why I bring up manga is because there's like this huge like breach between manga and American comic books. and I think that both sides need to actually see that how the similarities are for each other.
The cool thing about manga is you go and buy a manga and now it comes like in
Yeah,
a collected volume.
yeah,
Um, because it wasn't like that in the 80s and the 90s.
yeah. No, it was.
Manga comic books would come out and they would be what they were.
Yep.
Single issue comic books that
Yep.
were on black black and white on the regular
Yep.
newsprint. So that's
And
what I collect. I do have some manga volumes, which is it's only what do I have? Dragon Ball,
yeah,
Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Z,
yeah,
and some Super. But
yeah. See, I grew up on Shaman Jump, and that was basically like, imagine if Marvel, instead of releasing,
pulp volumes.
yeah, Spider Man and then Captain America and stuff like that every month. Instead, they just combined it all together as one thing. That's
Yeah.
what Shaman
So
Jump did.
so
So you
Shonen
got
Jump would be like this has mutants, Moon Knights, and assassins. So obviously it has New Mutants, it has Moon Knight, and it has the Elektra series that Bill Sienkiewicz did. So you go down to the store. Back then, they actually sold it at more places that weren't just comic book stores.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
could go get it. I know
Books a
I've said like,
Million.
well, even like places like 7-Eleven sometimes
Yeah.
randomly carry, depending on where you lived at in the country. Because if you lived in the Midwest, you
Yeah.
weren't going to find it at a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
You'd have to go to a comic book store or like Barnes and Noble or something.
Yeah.
But
I always got mine in mail order from Scholastics from school. So I would buy the subscription and then just get it in the mail.
yeah, but you're also a weird comic book collector because you said your introduction to comic book was trade paperbacks
Yep.
from the library because you didn't know that they were released as single issues. But
Yep.
those Shonen Jump and some of the other ones were like Mixzine was my favorite one. Those volumes it'd be like, okay, well, we're gonna give you these 4 stories every month until the story's done, but we're gonna put them all in a paperback format. So you get all of your stories at once. So they were a little bit more expensive, but you kind of got more bang for your buck
Oh,
because
yeah,
instead
for
of
sure.
they were like what $5, but you got like the equivalent of 4 to 6 comic books
Oh,
in
yeah,
each
if
one.
more. Yeah. And then you got that whole variety of like different stories in general. And they always had like extras in there, not just like, oh, this is a story, but like you learn a lot about the artist and the writer through those magazines because they always had segments in there where they talked about it and stuff like that.
Well,
And
that
it
was
gave
the but they started doing that a while back too because I know Dragon Ball. I have Dragon Ball Z #1. I used to have Dragon Ball #1 that from Viz Comics, which was a regular single comic.
Yeah.
But when those came out, they came out in shonen magazines like that too. So they were compiled. So before the Dragon Ball came out in what 86, so I think the comic book came out in 85. But they were in book format like this. So
Yeah.
you got Dragon Ball, and I don't know what else you got in what was in the shonen at that time, but
Yeah. And I'm
I
sure it was
wonder how rare
different
those
for
are, though.
Japanese releases too.
yeah, because they probably didn't care about the single issues.
Yeah.
Not until later, and I wonder if that's why Viz ended up in the 90s started releasing the single issues of the comic book for Dragon Ball. All they did was reprint the shonen issues in single issue format.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So right now, this is our like running thing. We got this going. I think we have a good, clear like podcast thing. We'll do some editing and good stuff. Let's show this Pokemon giveaway right quick. I'm gonna get up and get it.
Pokemon. I've already had people ask me. There's like,
Yep.
you want to just sell it to me instead of giving it away?
Yep.
You got it upside down.
Yep. And actually, Pokemon. There's a Pokemon Day that's coming up pretty soon too. I think maybe this Wednesday. Depending on when we post this podcast, will be when that is. But right here we have Prismatic Evolutions. This is that 3-pack poster collection.
Yeah, you get the poster. You get the 3 singles of
Promos.
evolutions of Eevee.
Yep.
And the 3 packs in there. So that one, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get these 2 tins, and each one of these tins has 2 more packs in there. And you're going to get this deck box with Snorlax.
Yeah. See. And so what we'll do with that is how the giveaway will work is we'll basically we're gonna set up this podcast. Maybe I'll probably end up editing it to where they only see this part of it whenever we post it up on Facebook. But the goal is try to get subscribers not only on Facebook, but also on YouTube, TikTok. We're gonna try to expand.
which are coming soon. So
Yeah.
we have a TikTok. There's only one post up for it right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start filming some content for that. Um, we're gonna be on Snapchat. We're gonna be on Instagram, and we're gonna have the YouTube page coming up. But right now, it's Facebook and TikTok.
Yep. So we're gonna have everything set up for that, and we're gonna try to get as many subscribers as possible. So this is our next giveaway. Pretty hot stuff for Pokemon. We're gonna definitely, try to get all this stuff together. Mostly because we're gonna be doing whatnot sales. We're gonna be doing whatnot, Facebook live sales, and also claim sales. We want to try to promote our sales there, not just the podcast. So this is something that got a little bit, so that we can get people to contribute to the actual hobbies itself. Especially when it comes to comic books and wanting to find what you need. We want to do that and eventually actually expand to where we can get our sales license and actually get new products of stuff, so we can start.
Yeah, because we do buy a bunch of random collections and stuff, and our collection's already deep
Huge.
as it is. So
yeah, so we want to get into that and expand as much as possible. So doing these giveaways is something we're going to try to do.
Oh yeah, and if you're local to Colorado Springs, which we're based out of, we have a shop right now at the local flea market. So if you're not aware of the flea market shop, we have our shop there with some comics, action figures, Funko Pops, cards, Hot Wheels. So there's that assortment of stuff. A lot of newer stuff, not too much older stuff. There's John Hernandez and Pete. If you guys know them guys from cons, they have a shop there too. John Hernandez has his stuff is more older stuff, so he's got a lot of older comic books, older toys, some cards and stuff. So he has a lot of older stuff that you're probably not gonna find anywhere else. Pete does a lot of customized stuff, a lot of horror, so that's cool. We got another vendor over there that has there's two vendors that mainly sell cards, sports stuff, and then the vendor next to us inside the flea market has a ton of action figures, like tons and tons of action figures, new and loose, more modern action figures. So you go inside the pavilion. Between all of us, you're gonna be hard pressed to not find what you're looking for.
So yeah, and there's actually Cosmic Con as well.
Oh yeah, Cosmic Con is coming up. That's being put on by John Hernandez and one of his friends. So we'll be at Cosmic Con. We've got our deposit for our booth, so we'll have 2 tables over there. We're gonna take a good chunk of stuff. So we'll have comic books, we'll have Hot Wheels, we'll have Funko Pops, we'll have action figures. We might have some original art. We're gonna have like Pokemon cards and stuff like that.
I got One Piece cards, so that's actually pretty hard to find. So yeah,
yeah. Hey, that market's still there.
Oh yeah.
No, almost nobody sells the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but
it's there. Yeah.
People still buy that stuff.
Yep. A lot of what was it? I think there's a Blue Eyes.
I was gonna say you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah. They supposed to be making like a new.
Do you have all 5 parts of Exodia?
Yeah. No. But yeah, so that's what we got for right now. This is pretty good. Can't wait to make sure y'all guys follow us. We're gonna have more content,
more giveaways too.
Giveaways. So definitely follow us, and we'll see y'all guys next time.